Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Philip Radukic, and I'm, amongst others, an SME for digital twins here at CI Experts. So today we'll be taking a deep dive into risks, challenges, and chances in an ever-evolving field in the industry, and that's construction data visualization and mastering the chaos that's actually behind that. So what does this mean? First of all, industry surveys have shown over the past few years significant losses due to inefficient data usage. So what does that mean? This means giving away at least 6 digits amounts per project. So we actually did a small consolidation of data with an example of a project budget of $4 million. Divided into 8% planning, 20% engineering, 20% procurement, 45% construction, and 7% commissioning. But to those 4 million, there's actually excess costs. So always takes more budget to finish the project than initially planned. So you see it with the red bars amounting up to about 1,120,000 approximately for this project. So, truth be told, this is not all due to inefficient data usage, but still 25% of that approximately is due to inefficient data. So, we're talking about $280,000 in a $4 million project. That's about 7% of costs that could be easily saved here. Well, today's agenda does not cover any specific solution now, but rather a high-level approach to the problems and challenges. So first of all, we want to recognize the potential we're giving away, centralize access to data sources sensibly, use 3D models for better visualization of your data, for example, and make information available to all stakeholders as one of the central points here. So what are actually the needs and objectives of EPC companies? For me, as an EPC company, well, first of all, I want to manage my projects more efficiently. I want to avoid or reduce costs like error costs in all project phases. And I want to have up-to-date information available faster, better, and easily accessible. And eventually, I want to visualize my information better so I can actually grasp the core of my issue at hand. Well, this all has to be seen in the background of shifting dynamics. So there's current challenges and challenges we can already see coming, but some of them you don't see coming. What are they? Increasing project complexity. So we need to navigate more intricate project requirements, balancing diverse and complex technical and logistical aspects. We have enhanced competition in the field. So staying competitive in a rapidly evolving market is crucial, and differentiating our services in a crowded field. We have tighter project timelines, so dealing with shorter completion schedules and managing efficient workflows under time constraints is a challenge. Technological advancements, so we need to keep pace with cutting-edge industry technologies while still being able to integrate new tools and methodologies effectively. And there's rising cost pressures. So we have to find a way to control escalating project budgets, maximizing resource utilization and cost effectiveness. And last but not least, there's always regulatory and compliance challenges. So it gets harder day by day to adhere to increasingly stringent regulations, ensuring compliance across all project stages and similar. So in the landscape defined by these challenges, success will be marked by those who can adaptively manage and address these concerns. They will be the future winners, the ones who excel in complex projects with strict deadlines and make the most of new technologies while maintaining their budget discipline. Conversely, there's going to be losers as well. Those who struggle to adapt to these evolving demands may find it challenging to keep pace, potentially missing out on opportunities for growth and achievement, and finally risk becoming disconnected from the forward momentum that characterizes winners in this dynamic environment. But what does being a winner actually mean? In this context, it means you want to have all resources available at your fingertips. You want to provide every stakeholder with an overview of all necessary information and give them full control over their very domain. So every stakeholder has interest maybe in different pieces of our data we have. And we need to give them the opportunity to access this data easily and change the information that he's responsible for. It also means we have to avoid bottlenecks or delays, excess costs due to bad or even missing data, which happens every day. And last but not least, we need to minimize the TTP, the time to publish information, providing and visualizing all information to all stakeholders as quickly as possible. So avoiding delays in data publishing also increases the efficiency, having the data and being sure that it's really up to date and not being created weeks ago and it took that long until it reached me. So what do I actually need to get to the promised land? First of all, direct availability of all data, not requiring any downloads, duplication, transfers whatsoever. Then an intelligent 3D model proves to be the best approach to a central point to access and visualize information. And eventually, easy implementation, not making infrastructure an obstacle of its own. And what's the solution for that? Obviously, the digital twin. So now, what is a digital twin? One of my favorite sentences here is actually ask 5 people what a digital twin is, and you'll get 8 answers, at least. So how could we visualize that? It's pretty much like asking people to think of a car. Can't be that hard. But still, all those 4 people will have a totally different picture in their head what they actually expect that car to be. And very similar it is with a digital twin, which is basically a collective term covering all types of information and data. So when we talk about a digital twin, it does not necessarily mean that we're thinking of the same thing. So what should a digital twin, or what can a digital twin contain, but must not, does not have to have it? Well, 3D models, laser scans, drone images, real-time information, Internet of Things, IoT, 2D data, PNIDs and drawings, engineering databases, documents, manuals, data sheets, maintenance databases, scheduling in 4D systems, simulations and animations, and basically many more. So all of these blocks can be a part of digital twin, but don't have to be. So there's an uncountable number of variations to digital twin. But when talking about digital twins, there's a couple of terms that are used very often and very often interchangeably, even though they do differ. There's like SSOT, SPOT, hybrid. What does that actually mean? So SSOT, or single source of truth, is actually a central storage for data. So this means data is gathered in one central point where people can access this information, and there's no other source for that information. So the big advantage is the data we have is absolutely reliable. On the other hand, it means often the sources are duplicated. So basically, we're copying from various sources into one central storage so we can access it there. Then there's the single point of truth, the SPOT, which actually follows a different approach. That means it creates a viewport to the source apps or the sources themselves. So the downside for this is a single point of truth, if badly set up, can actually have multiple sources for the same information. So we cannot be sure if we have different revisions of our data in different sources if we really have the most recent one and the current one. But on the other hand, it works with source data instead of duplicates. So this means we don't have to rely on duplication, which can also be a risk because depending on when the data is duplicated into the central storage, that's just how exact it is. So what does this mean in the world of digital twins? For digital twins, a hybrid approach actually combines the best of both worlds. This means you have systems that collect the data and make sure that they're the single source for this information, so making this data reliable, while you have on top of that an SPOT, a single point of truth, where all the data is accessible. And for example, mentioning combining and integrating 3D models, this would mean when I actually want to access information, I don't have to go to 4 or 5 different systems and gather the information. I can, for example, click on an equipment and I will get all the information from the different sources, which can be single sources of truth for their according domain, but eventually having it all in a single interface. So for the end user, it's easy to access all information without going to different applications and sources, but still have everything combined and federated in one digital twin access and visualization platform. So, which road to take? Well, first of all, you need to get an overview of the data sources you have at your disposal. So before doing any data integration, communication, or whatever, you need to know, what do I have at hand? Then next thing is get an overview over your recurring workflows or general workflows. So how do I work? And how is the data, or how are my data sources utilized within those workflows? And then let us help identify the bottlenecks in the combination of those two. And eventually introduce a tool that brings all information together and helps visualizing all the information centrally, but still easily accessible. So there might be objections like, okay, yeah, we've been thinking about this, but implementation is really costly and very time consuming. So basically, it does not really help me if the solution takes months or years to integrate. Then all the cost factors will not help me because it just takes too long and consumes too much funds to establish the system. Well, the good news is with the right tools and the right approach, digital transformation can be achieved step by step. As you saw, digital twin is not a fixed term, it's a very dynamic thing. So whatever somebody says, the digital twin is finished, well, then it's not a digital twin, because the digital twin is a live environment that changes, adapts, thrives, and lives on change, and it will never be fully finished. But with the first step being made, you can do that already in as little as 3 months, and I'll come back to that a bit later. So how realistic is that goal? Well, obviously very realistic because it has been done many times over. From our perspective, we have successfully accompanied many customers on that journey, introducing their understanding of a digital twin and helping them in extending the boundaries every day. What does this mean, extending the boundaries? Well, customers that start with a simple digital twin first step integration, and by using the digital twin on a daily basis, they actually discover new use cases, but also adapt to new challenges they face, and like using Lego bricks building on top of the digital twin base. So the digital twin needs to be adaptable because, as I said before, digital twins never really finished. And we can also tell from our experience that many customers have managed to save 6 to 7 digit amounts on excess costs by applying advanced solutions and integrations. So the exact problem that I depicted in the introduction. And the information is not presented as mere lists, but they're visualized in a special context, clear, comprehensive, comprehensible, and a 3D visualization is very obvious. I don't really have to search in various sources to pick a certain item tag or whatever. I can just select the focus of my interest in my 3D model, and I get all the information listed, and I can access everything through this central portal. So what are the success stories here? Well, our customers have successfully combined 3D models, P&IDs, drawings, isometrics, documents, 4D information, material management information, maintenance databases, and anything to create an integrated information system. Because eventually this is what a digital twin is, an integrated live information system. And we have helped customers to go from fully analog to fully digital with their assets at low costs and yet fast pace. So in this case, it was 3 months total from kickoff to delivery. What has been done? Well, this customer, they didn't have any 3D models. They had quite a lot of documents. They had their maintenance and engineering databases, and also software that they will use for shift turnovers and shift planning. But other than that, that's what they had. So with some of our partner companies, one of them being a laser scanning company and one being an engineering services company, we teamed up and set up a use case where laser scans were done, about 2,500 scan points. And based on that laser scan, objects were individualized, basically cut out of that laser scan and connected to all information they had. So that way, they already had their baseball digital twin to start with. And from that point, after those 3 months, as they went down the road, new use cases, new requirements evolved, and the digital twin is growing organically. And eventually, site personnel has direct access to all current information that they require and avoiding error costs and time loss with only one central access point for information, and nothing else is required to find all necessary data here. So the question at the end now is, what can I do? Well, it's actually quite easy what you can do. Contact us. Let's discuss your individual challenges, and in the next step, let's assess the possible solutions together. Because there might be more than one way to go, there might be more than one solution. So let's see which solution, which combination, which integration will fit your workflows and your data best. And eventually, let's create a roadmap to the promised land. This means let's see which milestones we have to take to get you there. And finally, create a scalable solution that helps you take on your current, but even future challenges, maybe some you don't even know of. So this is basically what a digital twin is about and how to get order and structure in a rather chaotic environment, and that's mastering the chaos. Thank you a lot for your attention. Since this webinar has no direct Q&A session included, the questions you have asked during the webinar will be answered by email, and hopefully we can also set up some personal calls to discuss your individual challenges here. Besides that, if you have any further questions regarding the contents of this webinar or the general software solutions used, the coding services provided, you can contact us anytime under the following addresses here. So again, thank you a lot and looking forward to talk to you again soon. Goodbye.